He's always been the strong one. The man who carries pain with a smile, who never lets the world see him break. But when Sam Heughan sat down for a recent interview, the tone was different. His voice trembled, his eyes told a story that words couldn't hide. And then, for the first time in years, he said something that left the entire fandom in shock. "I've been pretending for years that everything's fine," he admitted quietly. "But it's not." That single sentence hit like a thunderclap. The audience froze. Even the interviewer seemed lost for words. For nearly a decade, fans have seen Sam as the picture of strength. The charming Scottish actor who conquered Hollywood, built a global fanbase, and inspired millions through Outlander. But in that moment, he wasn't Jamie Fraser, the fearless hero. He was just Sam, raw, vulnerable, and human. The interview began normally enough. Questions about the show's final season, upcoming projects, and his growing influence beyond acting. But as the discussion turned toward fame and its pressures, something inside him shifted. He took a deep breath, and for a long, heavy moment, he simply stared at the floor. When he finally spoke, it wasn't rehearsed. It was real. "You know," he said, "people think success fixes everything. That when you're living your dream, you're happy all the time. But that's not how it works. There are days when I feel completely empty. Like I'm giving everything, and there's nothing left for myself." His words carried the quiet ache of someone who had spent years giving his best to everyone else, the fans, the work, the endless expectations, while silently losing pieces of himself along the way. By the time the clip aired online, the internet had already exploded. Within hours, the hashtag #StayStrongSam was trending across social media. Fans couldn't believe what they had heard. "Sam Heughan is struggling," one post read. "How can the man who plays the strongest character on TV be falling apart?" Others shared messages of love and concern. "You've carried us through our own dark times. Now it's our turn to carry you." Another fan wrote, "Behind that smile, we always sensed something deeper. We just didn't know it hurt this much." The reaction was overwhelming. Millions of people suddenly realizing that the actor they idolized might be fighting battles no one ever saw. But for those who have followed Sam closely, this wasn't entirely new. He's hinted at the emotional toll of fame before, the loneliness of constant travel, the invasive scrutiny, the rumors that never seem to stop. In one older interview, he had once said, "There's a cost to all of this. Sometimes you wake up and wonder who you are outside of the character you play." It sounded poetic back then, but now, it felt like a quiet warning that nobody noticed. Sources close to Sam revealed that he's been under immense pressure in recent months, balancing the demands of filming, business ventures, and public appearances, all while facing a flood of online criticism. "People see the glamour," one insider said. "They don't see the sleepless nights, the exhaustion, the anxiety." Sam's been holding it all together for so long, but even he has limits. In the interview, he went on to say, "I love my fans. They've given me everything. But sometimes, it's hard when people think they know you. They see Jamie Fraser, not me. And the truth is, sometimes, I don't even know who me is anymore." The confession stunned everyone. You could hear the pain in his voice, not anger, not frustration, but quiet sadness. The kind that comes from years of trying to be perfect for everyone else. The clip ended with Sam looking straight into the camera. His eyes glistened, his tone soft but deliberate. "I just want people to know that behind the smile, there's a human being too. Someone who gets tired, someone who hurts." It was a moment of rare honesty, the kind that strips away fame and reveals the fragile truth underneath. The fandom's reaction was immediate and emotional. Some said they cried watching it. Others admitted they felt guilty for forgetting that even their heroes are human. Many promised to be more understanding, to show kindness instead of expectation. But as powerful as Sam's confession was, it also left one haunting question hanging in the air. What pain was he hiding all these years? And more importantly, why did he finally decide to speak out now? In the days after his emotional interview, the world couldn't stop talking about Sam Heughan. The clip had gone viral, viewed millions of times, shared across platforms, analyzed in podcasts, and quoted in headlines. But while fans were still processing his words, Sam himself disappeared from the public eye. No new posts, no appearances, just silence. It wasn't the silence of avoidance, it was the silence of someone finally catching his breath. For years, Sam had been moving at a pace few could survive. The early mornings, the press tours, the endless questions, and the constant weight of being Jamie Fraser in the eyes of the world. Behind every red carpet smile was exhaustion. Behind every perfect performance was someone running on empty. And now, for the first time, he was allowing himself to stop. A friend close to Sam later shared, he didn't want sympathy. He just wanted to be honest. People see strength in him, but that strength has cost him. He's been carrying too much for too long. That weight wasn't just about fame. It was about the invisible battles that come with living under a spotlight, the loss of privacy, the endless criticism, the fear of not being enough. Over the years, Sam has faced everything from toxic gossip to online harassment, simply for existing in the public eye. And though he rarely responds, it takes its toll. In a reflective post shared weeks later, Sam finally opened up again. The photo was simple, just the Scottish Highlands under a grey sky. The caption read, "Sometimes, even the strongest people need to admit they're tired. But that's how you heal, by telling the truth." Those words hit differently. They weren't from the actor who plays a hero. They were from the man who had learned that even heroes break. For years, fans had looked to Sam as an unshakable figure, someone who embodied courage, kindness, and unwavering positivity. But that image, he confessed, had become a mask. "I kept smiling because people expected me to," he admitted. "I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But the truth is, I'm human. I get lonely. I get scared. I struggle." Loneliness. That was the part that broke fans' hearts the most. Because it was so easy to imagine. A man surrounded by fame and success, yet quietly sitting alone in a hotel room thousands of miles from home. Late nights scrolling through messages from fans who adored him, yet feeling completely unseen. In a way, Sam's confession wasn't just about sadness, it was about reclaiming his humanity. By admitting that he wasn't okay, he reminded the world that fame doesn't protect you from pain. If anything, it isolates you from the people who might understand it. When the interview first aired, Caitriona Balfe, his longtime friend and co-star, reportedly reached out privately. A source close to the Outlander team shared, Caitriona told him how proud she was. She said, "You've helped more people than you'll ever realize just by being honest." And she was right. Across social media, fans began opening up about their own struggles, sharing stories of exhaustion, burnout, and the pressure to be strong. The comment sections became something rare, not just admiration, but community. "He made me feel less alone," one fan wrote. "If Sam can admit he's struggling, maybe I can too." Slowly, the narrative changed. What began as a shocking confession became a message of hope. In a follow-up interview months later, Sam reflected on that moment. He smiled gently and said, "That day, I wasn't trying to make a statement. I just spoke from the heart. I didn't realize how many people needed to hear it." He went on to explain that he's learning to take better care of himself, to rest, to disconnect, to let go of the need to be perfect. "It's a journey," he said. "But I'm grateful. The fans, my friends. They reminded me that I don't have to do it all alone." Perhaps that's what made his admission so powerful. It wasn't a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. He showed the world that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage in its purest form. And for someone like Sam Heughan, who's spent years portraying strength on screen, that kind of honesty might be the bravest role he's ever played. As the camera fades out, we picture him standing once again in the Highlands. Wind in his hair, sky heavy with clouds, but a small, genuine smile on his face. The same man who once said, "I've been pretending everything's fine," now looks lighter, freer. Because for the first time in years, he no longer has to pretend. "I'm learning to be okay with not being okay," he said in his final words of that interview. And maybe that's where real strength begins. And just like that, the fandom that once adored his character fell even deeper in love with the man behind it. Not for being perfect, but for being real.